Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? Uh, Look, you already know what it is. I'm back. We'll talk about another movie that I just saw literally 2 hours ago, almost 2 hours ago. Uh, Joker, FOLIE, FOLIE, Dau. Look, I don't know no Spanish, French, whatever language this is. Very ignorant to that. So I'm just gonna call this Joker 2. Um, Look, a lot of people have been talking crazy about this movie, and I definitely understand. I definitely understand. I'm definitely going to talk about spoilers in here, so prepare yourself for that. But you had all weekend. You had all weekend to see this. All right, so it's on you. But nah. Nevertheless, look, the movie. It basically takes place. Literally right after Joker kills Robert De Niro's character Murray in that talk show. So now he's in Arkham Asylum, and he's going through trial. And pretty much the prosecutor, who is Harvey Dent, by the way, he is trying to make a case that Joker needs to be put on the death penalty for killing 5 people. Murray, young guys he killed on the train station in the first movie. And I don't know who the other person may be. I think it might be his therapist that he killed right before the ending. He killed her. Let's be real. He killed her. A lot of people will say, well, maybe it was just his imagination. He killed her. Arthur Fleck's lawyer, she is trying to make a case that Arthur needs to be committed to, first of all, a better psych ward that could really help him, because her claim is that Arthur is not in touch with reality, that when he puts on makeup and becomes this Joker persona, that's him slipping out of reality. So making a claim that he's insane. And along that way, while he's in this asylum, he meets Harley Quinzel, who is also a patient. So they've been saying that this movie was going to be a musical. When the talks were about this was going to be a Harley Quinn and Joker movie, and it was going to be a musical. It's not heavy in that department. It's not heavy. It's definitely some sound, definitely some breaks in the narrative to really breaks in the dialogue to create these music pieces. But it's not really a break in the narrative or in the plot of the film. It's like two of them. That's it. But I think it was more so what was going on through Arthur's head during that scene, this whatever particular scene. So the music wasn't really like, it wasn't those musicals where they singing through dialogue, or it's a long, like, just several music pieces, like what you'll get in like The Color Purple or something. No, it wasn't anything like that. The story, well, before I get into the story, cinematography great, looks just as good as the first one. And the acting was very well done, of course. I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga proved herself to be a great actress, especially doing that movie, A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper. So, she already proved herself on that, and she did good. A couple other characters from actors that most people probably wouldn't know, playing side characters like, the guards in Arkham Asylum. I did like the guy who played Harvey Dent, even though we didn't get a lot of him. He mostly stayed in the courtroom scenes. But I did like his aura. I did really like his aura and his charisma. I will say this about Joaquin Phoenix version of the Joker, I didn't really honor as much. I felt like the movie was great. I felt like his performance was great, but as a movie for the Joker, I didn't give it too much respect, but rewatching it recently and obviously watching this one, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's the best Joker because we haven't yet to see him, and we'll obviously probably never gonna get him in the film with Batman, the actual Batman character. But imagine that he is like, imagine that he could be or he is or whatever, and just seeing his performance solely alone, I could say that his Joker be a hot take that should be willing to have some respect, because I love how his Joker honors what was said in the comic books and all of media when it came to Batman. Joker is very unpredictable, and I just love how Joaquin Phoenix, the way he acts as Joker, the fact that he's this damaged man, and that he's not so much a criminal mastermind that always got it together. Like, no, like he is emotional, he is crazy, and he's sick, and you can really tell he needs help, but he's too far gone. I just and just the certain beats he takes, I would have to dive into a whole acting video of how Joaquin Phoenix acts as Joker, but I just feel like his performance as this character is very compelling, and I will give him credit. He's a damn good Joker. Like I said, in the first film, I wasn't really too into the fact that I felt like he went off the rails because he got off his meds. But again, rewatching it, I realized no, like the meds was just the tip of the iceberg. Like, he's a damaged person. Now let's move on to the story. I understand why people didn't like this. I feel like the expectations of this was very high. It ended the way it did in the first one. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people know that this wasn't going to tie into Robert Pattinson's Batman or create a whole nother Batman universe. When you hear that Joaquin Phoenix Joker is going to have a sequel, you would think that it will have a bit more to it in the plot. Maybe a big, more epic, more grander, maybe a more complex storyline. And this definitely wasn't that. This was almost like a psychological piece on a man going through something, and is showcasing it through music, while at the same time giving you a courtroom drama and a love story. People probably not gonna be prepared for that. Probably they weren't. They not. It was very slow paced. I might find it boring. And this one was more compelling for me. It wasn't so much boring. You're going through like this psychological journey with a character, so I think it was cool. It could have been paced a little bit better, but people not gonna expect this movie to go away. It did. It wasn't because it's a musical. It's because, to be honest with you, and this is the fault of the movie, it was pointless. It was a pointless movie. I mean, again, you had this courtroom plot that was kind of, it was interesting, but they didn't really dive into what I was saying, what the courtroom drama was really deeply. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't the basis of the whole movie. The basis of the whole movie was more so his relationship with Harley Quinn and how she represented the fans of the Joker that he gains in the first film. When they meet, she's supposed to be in the same Arkham Asylum, just on the women's side of the building. But then she turns out to actually be who she is in the actual lore of Batman. She apparently checked herself in. She checked herself in the Arkham Asylum to get closer to the Joker, to meet him, and to eventually fuck him. Yes, they actually have a very comedic sex scene in this. It played off to be very intimate and emotional and deep, but it was comedic to me. It was actually pretty funny. You don't really get too much of Harley Quinn in this, in terms of her character development, who she is. It's almost as if they just used a little bit of the lore and just used her almost as a tool to elevate this story that's going on with Arthur Fleck. You really didn't feel like she was a character in there. Because by the end of the film, Arthur at one point fires his lawyer, represents himself, and once that happens, he puts on the Joker makeup and he acts like the Joker, you know, throughout this part of the movie. And you know, he's like very like boisterous and like, you know, in the certain moments you get to represent the demonstration of his attitude through music. And Joker is like the poster boy for the crazy people that were overlooked and didn't get the help that they needed, you know, before they went off the rails or whatever. And you know, at one point in the courtroom, he gets his little buddy Puddles, his name is, apparently the guy he let go and let live after he killed one of his co-workers from that clown fucking place, and he let the little one live. So he gets on the stand, and the little one, you know, Puddles talk about how, oh, you made me so scared. I thought we were friends, but you scared me. I've been so scared all along. It was pretty fucking ridiculous. But so he and Arthur then feels bad after that, and then he starts to think to himself that, you know, this whole Joker persona, maybe it's not a good thing, you know. And so he says in front of the jury, the Joker thing is separate. Like, it was all me. It wasn't the Joker. It was me. So pretty much he was pretty much going with what Harvey Dent was trying to say about him, what that case was. And Harley Quinn didn't like it. None of his followers liked it. And so she breaks up with him because of that. They had like this whole scene where he has to show, after doing that, he has to show up to the courthouse again. And he fucking there's an explosion. Someone planted a bomb in the courthouse. The explosion happens, and he tries to go see Harley Quinn, which he does, and then she tells him basically what I just said. Like, she was like, you ruined the fantasy, and basically saying that, you know, you denounced yourself as the Joker, basically. And so he goes back to Arkham Asylum, and someone says that one of the guards says that he has a visitor, which I'm thinking Harley Quinn probably came to see him still again, because who the fuck else is going to see the fucking Joker? Maybe, no, it wasn't going to be his lawyer because he fired her. So it was like, it had to be Harley Quinn. So right before he sees Harley Quinn, some random inmate comes up to him, tries to tell him a joke, because that was like a whole thing in the movie where Arthur used to tell his sick ass jokes to the guards and shit and to the inmates, but he stopped for a while. So I guess one of the inmates, you know, wanted to do that. But it turns out that right after he tells him the joke, he fucking stabs the fuck out of him, and kills Arthur Fleck and laughs off in the distance while carving his face. And that's the end of the movie. So you can see how that was kind of pointless. Like, and I didn't really leave much detail out. Like, what I just said is the movie. It's pointless. However, I wouldn't say it's not entertaining. That's why I can't say this movie is completely trash. It wasn't like, for me, a movie sucks when it is pointless, stupid, boring, whatever, and it just has no entertainment value at all. There's no good choices throughout the movie. I wasn't wooed in no way. It was just, you know, it sucked. I was entertained through this. I was entertained, like I said, from cinematography to acting, some of the ideas of the plot. But obviously, since it's basically a pointless movie, obviously certain, you know, a lot of things about the plot could have been changed. Things could have been taken out. A lot of things could have been added, even though this movie was long as hell. So with that being said, like I said, I give people's gripe. And I could definitely agree with it. People were saying that the guy at the end who killed Arthur, like, oh, that was Heath Ledger's Joker, or he represented Heath Ledger's Joker, or whatever the fuck. Maybe, who knows? I doubt if it was literally him, because again, this takes place in I think mid to early 80s. Interesting to see. I mean, I think it was more so a metaphor of like how I feel like they just wanted to tell a story about the Joker where he is again, the poster board for all the craziness in Gotham, and how he kind of begins an evolution of Jokers. You know what I'm saying? And how like his whole ideologies of we're gonna take it to the man, you know, for holding us back all these years, or ignoring us, ignoring our insanities and stuff like that. And so you have this character who kills him, and then he slices his face, and it's like he's laughing off as the Joker. I think that kind of brings all that home. But again, I feel like the way they approached this movie, it was so experimental that I don't think this budget went for. I don't think the $200 million budget was worth it. I don't think this was worth it. I mean, so far they only made 121 million. And they probably not gonna make too much more. I mean, the theater I was at was pretty empty. It was like 7 of us in there. Pretty empty, man. It was entertained. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't really all that good either. I mean, I'm not probably won't watch this movie again, not by choice. And people were saying that, oh, Todd Phillips, he only did this because the studio forced him. No, him and Joaquin Phoenix wanted to do this. I read it. So shortly before shooting wrapped on Joker, Phoenix confessed to Todd Phillips, the filmmaker who had reimagined Batman's greatest enemy as an aspiring stand-up with a Travis Pickle complex, that he wasn't ready to leave the character behind. When he fell asleep one night, Phoenix had a vision of Arthur Fleck, the man behind Joker's clown makeup, performing on stage, telling jokes and singing. And then it goes on and on and on. They had discussion about maybe having it be a Broadway show, which they probably should have. But, you know, then they had other ideas to actually make it a film, but then COVID happened, which, by the way, you know, it's funny. I was just thinking about, I was talking to the person I went to the movies with, that, damn, it's been 5 years since the first Joker. But again, I'm pretty sure they probably would have had it come out like in 2021, but you know, COVID happened, pushed a lot of things back. People didn't really settle in back into life until 2022, to be honest. So, still, Phoenix's initial concept that Arthur, who moves to an uncomfortability through the world, could finally find a way to express himself with music, lingered as Phillips and his co-writer Scott Silver began plotting and returned to Gotham City 5 years and one pandemic later. The result of Phoenix nocturnal brainstorm, Joker, Folie de la Rue, or whatever, Joker 2, is about to debut in Venice Film Festival, Phillips, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, these guys wanted to do this. They wanted to. They wanted to make this movie exactly the way they did it. They definitely should have stuck to the Broadway idea. Like I said, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you tell me what you think. Because at the end of the day, you ain't got to ask about it. And you ain't got to have the answer to it. You already know what it is.